My name is Henry, and this is Blaze the Roof, episode 2. So, last time we reviewed a tasty little sauce from Howler Monkey, the original one. And this week we will be reviewing Frank's Red Hot Wing Hot Buffalo Sauce, right? So technically it is not a hot sauce, but it is a hot sauce product. Little interesting tidbit, the very first buffalo sauce, which was made in Buffalo, New York, featured the Red Hot original sauce. So a little tidbit there, right? So Frank's right now is made out of the city of Springfield, Missouri. It is bottled or made by the French's Food Company, which falls under the umbrella of the McCormick's Corporation. So a big conglomerate there, but I'm pretty sure if you've ever used spices, you're familiar with McCormick's. There's quite a few other families underneath that, but French's Food is one of them. So now, and it is a decent stock, by the way. I sold that one too soon. If you bought it 2 years back, you probably made like 50 cents on the dollar. So now, one interesting thing about French's Food, actually McCormick's in general, is they do support two causes, which is Feeding America and Autism Speaks, right? Both are really great causes, although they are a much bigger corporation than, say, Howler Monkey is, so maybe it's not quite as impressive. But nonetheless, they're giving back and they're doing something, right? So, as I mentioned before, this product is actually headquartered out of Springfield, Missouri. Not the home of The Simpsons, unfortunately, right? But it is home to Route 66 and the very lovely Brad Pitt. No homo. So, a little bit about the city, right? It is known as the Queen City of the Ozarks as well. Nothing else really stands out from that city. So now let's take a look at the packaging. Okay, so looking at the packaging now, right? I'll do my best to hold this up to the camera, but I'll probably put in a photo anyway. You notice the logo, right? Pretty corporate looking. The logo's red, so I mean it's called Red Hot. I would assume that they'd use the color red in there somewhere. The whole motif is either like yellow, orange, red. What does that remind you of? Fire, right? So aside from that, there's some really cool details. Unfortunately, you can't really see them that well, but I'm going to try my best here. If you look at that, there are some chili. There's like 2 chili peppers. It's almost like a ring around the whole bottle. They're kind of beveled out. Same thing with the Frank's right there. So it's a pretty neat detail on the packaging there. So moving on to the ingredients, right? With the ingredients, you have distilled vinegar, aged cayenne red peppers, salt, water, canola oil, which has been linked to dementia now. So that gives me a little bit of pause there. Paprika, natural flavor, as opposed to unnatural flavor, right? So I'm glad they used that. Xanthan gum. You're going to see that in quite a few hot sauces. It's basically to keep the ingredients from separating, especially when it's being stored for a while. You have natural butter type flavor. So again, natural butter type flavor. That's funny. And garlic powder. All right, so the main star of this sauce, right, is cayenne, which clocks in at about 30 to 50,000 SHUs. The word cayenne is actually derived from, there's a tribe in, I believe it's Brazil, called the Tupi tribe, right? And the word is quinha, I guess is the way you say it. So it got bastardized into cayenne, which that word actually means pepper. So this is literally named pepper. So before we get any further into the show, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
So, from the makers of like Uggs for Pugs, we now present to you Basic Bitch Biscuits. It's the treat for like when you want your dog to live its best life. It's like brunch for your dog. Available in pumpkin spice.
All right, so now it's time to taste the sauce itself, right? As I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing a spoonful of this stuff. All right, so as you can tell from the bottle, I've already been partaking this. I just love this stuff on wings, so I don't put this shit on everything, but we'll talk a little bit about that. That's their slogan, if you didn't know. But again, not a very viscous sauce, just standard regular wing sauce. So it's a nice little orangey color, and let's have at it. All right, so initial impressions, right? You taste the vinegar. It's the primary ingredient. If you've ever had anything with cayenne, you'll have the familiarity with that as well. Cayenne doesn't really, in my mind, have any flavor aside from just, like, it has a distinct flavor. You get cayenne powder, right? It has its own unique flavor. It's not like maybe other peppers like jalapenos or serranos where you get this. I think you just get a little bit more flavor with those. This just tastes like kind of spiced, right? It's not that bad. The original, not the hot buffalo, but the regular buffalo sauce is at 1800 SHUs. So this one's hotter than that. I don't know the exact level though. And again, right, it's more subjective than anything, right? As we're going to find out down the road. So this doesn't have that much heat, but if you do eat enough things such as wings, by the time you get to like the 10th one, it starts to accumulate a bit, right? And especially if you don't use gloves when eating it. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But if you have contacts like I do, it's gonna burn like hell whenever you take out the contacts, right? As I try some of the other sauces as we move along, I'm probably gonna need to use gloves if I'm handling them, so that way I don't burn my damn corneas or whatever, right? All in all, very flavorful, right? You taste the vinegar with a little hint of maybe the natural butter flavor or whatever whatever they call it, and then a little bit of heat from the cayenne. Maybe you feel a little bit more in the back of the throat, a little bit on the tongue, but not an overwhelming, right? Not a very powerful flavor. The hot buffalo might be a bit much for people that like mild sauces, but if you like hot food, this is perfect, I think. What I decided to do, again, I am trying to make recipes with the hot sauce as well, but I am adamant about not ever taking photos of my food. I try not to do that, so I'm not a hipster. So essentially, though, I made it with some diced chicken and put in some mac and cheese, right? If you make your mac and cheese from scratch or you make it out of the box, it doesn't matter. Get about 8 ounces, which is about a chicken breast of boiled chicken or baked chicken. Cut it up into cubes. Throw about a quarter cup, or you could just eyeball it, and toss it around in there. Add it to your mac and cheese once it's finished, and nice and easy to make, right? You could also use this on buffalo cauliflower if you're a vegetarian, right? If you're vegan, I don't know if you could take this because it's natural butter flavor, but it doesn't say anything about natural butter, right? So I don't know if it's an actual animal byproduct. So that's an interesting one. Vegans, if you're interested, write into them, see what they tell you, right? So yeah, it's pretty versatile. I wouldn't put this on like pork or necessarily any beef products, but I think if you go with a profile like a buffalo shrimp, especially if you got fried shrimp, I think you go good with that. Probably even regular cooked shrimp would work with it. Coarse chicken. This would even work well on fried chicken, right? So the breading does kind of change the flavor a bit. And then you also can get, I think again, like on cauliflower, get creative with it. But it's more than just a wing sauce, so I think that's why I like it. And I invite you to go ahead and give it a shot. So, well, that's all we have for this week. Next week, we will be trying out a new, well, I don't know how new it is, but it's an artisanal hot sauce called Truff. It's infused with black truffle oil. It's a very interesting hot sauce concept. So can't wait to share that with y'all next week, right? So, till next time, I'm Henry, and spice up your life. Take care.